let's talk a little bit about what happens with the future of Shang-Chi. Now, we kind of talked about it when we talked, box office recently, but this is more centric about just which way could they take the story and what did they do. The obvious one is, well, they got a new leader of the Ten Rings, which I can't wait to see that continue to happen.
I suppose spoilers from here on out.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, full on spoilers.
Which is that's unfortunate for some people, but oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've set up the rings as like the next MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Obviously not like the stones, but their own thing, kind of.
I mean, yeah, like I think we're getting to that point where we're gonna have MacGuffins and there's just a couple of them at the same time, and it's like, yeah, what? This is the new thing. Like, there's different corners of the Marvel universe dealing with the different things. You didn't know this is how it goes. It's like, oh, okay, that's because like Infinity Saga was clearly let's just build up to the Infinity thing, but now we're expanding so quick that soon you're just gonna have the Midnight Suns. They're like, we're all building up to fight Dracula, and then Captain Marvel's like, yeah, sorry, I can't help you either. Like, I sorry, like, it's, what are you gonna do? It's
the space stuff I have to take care of.
Yeah, it's getting to that point, so I'm okay with it because I like that this is kind of happening with the Ten Rings. It's like going in somewhat of a different direction. They definitely teased the space beacon type of dealio, which cool.
Well, this is the thing. They don't actively say it's not from, they don't say it's not from space. Carol says she doesn't recognize if it is.
There's a couple things in there, in the dialogue. You're like, okay.
So like, it could very well be space. The space is the obvious one, especially with the history of the rings in the comics, like Fin Fang Foom and all of that. I wonder how much. And the only thing really standing in the way is the original release schedule for this movie. Like, is it Eternals, like Celestial related? Because they could easily fit in with that.
Yeah, you could. Yup.
But I think that might be a little bit weird. I don't know, but I like the idea that this movie has ties to Celestials and all that.
I mean, you never know. Like, there's definitely, they play vague in the film with a lot of elements of what they could do and which way they could go and what the plan is and the overall bigger picture. So, I mean, they left a lot to be explored, which is smart on their part. And also, if you look at the whole more grandiose world of Shang-Chi and what they establish in this film, I mean, it's obvious that they could do so much, and I am now more than ever convinced that after this film, the rumors of them bringing back Iron Fist are 100% true. Because this film, if you've read Iron Fist, and I know, like, I was talking to a couple of friends that are hardcore fans like me, they were all like, dude, they just straight up aped Iron Fist lore and threw it in this film. I'm like, yep, 100% that's what they did. And they play just vague enough that if you don't know it, you're like, but the hidden city, the pocket dimensions, the way you access it, I mean, it's all there. Like, it's...
and, was it his aunt that's in Taolao?
Yes.
Yeah, like, there's multiple cities. There's not just this one little village. It's like, oh, how many are there? Let me guess, 7.
Let me guess, once you get the rights back, it's 7?
They got the rights back now. They filmed this
true. True. Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
The thing is there...
It's probably Feige being like, don't make them remember that. Like, we'll give it a little bit more. Don't make them remember.
And I've seen so many people be like, but Taolao isn't what, it's not one of those, 7 cities of heaven. I'm like,
no, and they went out of their way to say that. And they're like, ours is just one little village, but there are cities.
Yeah.
In this dimension, it's just like, oh, okay.
And my whole thing is like, they can say that too, but we always go back to the Infinity Stones and the gems from the comics and how they changed those in the MCU. They're always taking liberties to give us a new take. So I'm in 100% belief Shang-Chi 2 will introduce us to a new Iron Fist, and then they're just gonna do the whole Disney thing. It's like, here you go.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't say his mum was one.
Same.
It's like she's literally wearing yellow and green in the forest, and it's like, come on now. Come on.
The way she
right there.
The way she fights and like she's using the environment and bending it, I almost feel like it's probably a deleted scene. Like it's
Yeah, it wouldn't like she was at one point supposed to be, and they just went, yeah, we'll just take the name out, keep everything else.
I mean, it goes back to even Iron Man 1, where the original post-credit scene is Nick Fury shows up. He's like, I've been dealing with, like Spider-Man mutants, and you're like, whoa, and then they're like, oh yeah, right, we can't use that, illegal. So I mean, you could always retcon and be like, oh yeah, she was an Iron Fist. We just didn't. Well, we didn't bring it up. Whatever. Oh, okay.
You make the Iron Fist. Actually, I'm not 100% up on that. I don't know if it works like this. The series had 2 at the same time, or even 3. But you can just say like, only one person can have it at a time, and she was one.
That's pretty much how it works. Yeah. One person at a time, and yeah.
Yeah. You just say that, and you're sorted.
Yep, exactly. So that's kind of the
my
thing.
only problem with that is, and it's the same with my problem with Fin Fang Foom in a minute, is that's a lot of dragons, and you're kind of pigeonholing the agent guy with dragons, and it's like,
It's true, and also, well, this film also literally the heart of the dragon, the way it grants you the power is like, oh, like that's another big element. I'm like, and I think again, for better or for worse, Shang-Chi's going to be tied to dragons from here on out, and...
I mean, yeah, he always has been in a sense, but I just hope, like, not every movie...
Yeah.
I'm going to be quite harsh in how I'm going to say it devolves into another dragon fight. Because,
yeah.
Not what I personally liked.
No, I get you there. I agree with that. They shouldn't do the same thing, but they can find interesting ways to spin it and do whatever they will with it. But
speaking of interesting ways to spin it, the Dweller in Darkness is the same species as Nightmare in the comics. It's the same sort of like entity. So you can easily, like, yes, fair enough. They made this Cthulhu-looking guy into Gore Magala from Monster Hunter, like. For the sake of a dragon fight. But you could easily twist that sort of a thing instead. Because it was originally a Thor villain, then it became a Doctor Strange villain. And now it's a dragon. That was a dragon, I suppose.
And again, in a pocket dimension, and we heard that the nightmare thing could be a dimension, the nightmare dimension, so... Yeah, this could be a way to tie things together. I mean...
I think also tying it into Doctor Strange as well was a really good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Just give me more Wong. That's all I care about.
Yes.
This is Wong cinematic universe now. We're just watching it.
It's true. He's everywhere. Literally everywhere. Like, it's kind of crazy.
He's in more appearances than Henry Cavill Superman.
Angry Cheeto fingers are slamming a keyboard right now.
I say that'll be my one random drag down DC for no reason this year. And,
it's true, though. It's true.
Just like, there you go.
Well, what I can say is we will come back and talk more about Shang-Chi too, because it's about 2 to 3 weeks after a release where they start dropping more interviews and direct, here's some ideas that we figure we can use in the future. It's typically how Marvel does it, so... We'll come back and talk about this and what we think will happen, because there's going to be a lot to talk about going forward with this character and his whole world, I suppose.
Especially like with his power setting out in the movie, he's not limited to where he was.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like Shang-Chi in the comics is literally, you take on most people, but like in a realistic sense that this likes to try and go for, it's like, can this guy really do that? Like, no, this this version of Shang-Chi can do a lot more than what in the comics.
Yeah, now I understand when he said he could take on the Hulk, why he said that. It's like, oh yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yep.
You could. Yeah.
You definitely could.
Especially now. I'm gonna spoil that bit, but especially now.
Oh god, yeah.